But I had already, whew. So that was into my world right there. My youngest was sorry, my bad. This is part 4 of God's story told by me, which is my testimony. So my husband was just killed in Iraq. My youngest was 1.5 years old. We was in Clarksville, Tennessee. My house got robbed 8 times back to back, so much so that my insurance wasn't going to cover me no more, replacing all the TVs and my kids' stuff. Because when your husband passed, you get X amount of money, you know. So they had some things, and I had a nice house. It doesn't repay the loss of your husband. My family members was never too much around, you know, as you could tell, but I did let them know, like, when my kids was born, and then when my husband passed, you know, I figured that they would be of some use, but no, they just wanted money. They act like I had won the lottery. They didn't even know my kids' birthday, man. They didn't even know my kids talk to me. They didn't even talk to my kids. I mean, I would probably say hello to them once every 5 years, sometimes 10 years. That would be it. And then because I didn't give nobody money, handed out because of, you know, sharing my lottery inheritances. Man, these kids ain't never gonna get their dad back, but that's how they acted. So, still by myself, and after being robbed, I decided to move to San Antonio, Texas. I needed to get out of the house. The kids were going to school. I was bored. It was getting to me. So I decided to go back to dancing because I was being paid under the table and didn't have to report it to the government. And besides, that's the best job you get to be when you get paid to be drunk, right? So, you know, I just drank a lot when I was at work. I didn't really drink much at home. Didn't like it. It was by myself. I only drink while I was at work. And besides, I was being paid to drink. So, you know, and I could drink 2 handles by myself, so it wasn't like nobody was going to be able to take advantage of me or nothing, because I would never let that happen. And sex doesn't really bother me too much, you know, with all my problems I went through. It wasn't never on my mind, you know. So you couldn't get past me. Not only that, but I was a dangerous woman. I fought a lot. Been through a lot of fights throughout my whole entire life. I wish somebody would touch me. I used to get in trouble at work for that, because they'd be sitting there trying to do that, and I'd be like, go ahead, do it again, and act like I'm petting the back of their head right there, and act like I'm going to twirl their hair or something. I just grab them by the back of the neck and slam their face right into the table. You know, don't touch me. Oh, it's a tough girl. It's a front. When you just feel so broken. So you got to be tough. You ain't got no choice to be tough. Whew. Anyway, so I left that, became a bartender, pretty good one at that. I was like one of the best bartenders around in San Antonio. I've dated a few people. There was one that was a really nice guy, and he was actually a local celebrity and could have been like the next Metallica band, and he still has quite a few bands, you know. He was a nice guy. Did me pretty good. But then his brother passed away, and we didn't really talk too much no more. So then I was just pretty left on my own. But then I met this other guy. I had one friend here. His name was Jerb. He was my best friend throughout. He still is to this day. But there's another guy that was a real good friend of mine when I first moved here. And we'd always been friends, and He would come to every bar I ever worked at, here and there, and actually got me a job helped me at the bar. But we was always real good friends. The last 5 years of his life is when we started being more than friends. Then he was in an accident. 5-car pileup. It was this meat truck lost this meat out the back of the truck. Then this big old 18-wheeler come by and squished the meat all over the highway, which caused him to wreck. And his work truck was coming behind, which he seen the wreck, so he stopped enough to where he wasn't moving. But now the actual cars, come behind, did not. And each one slammed into him, which slammed his truck head on until the gas tank of that 18-wheeler, and it burst into flames. 4 explosions, boom, boom, boom. He was the driver. The cop literally burnt his arms up trying to pull him out of the vehicle. Him and his 2 employees burnt up, and they was young. They couldn't get out the car because the only one that was able to get out was him, and the cop already burnt up trying to pull him out. That I'm pretty sure that he told the cop, says, "Let me go." The cop remembers seeing the kid in the back, his expression. So the cop had to sit there, and only burnt his hands up. He had to sit there and watch him die. Man, that cursed me too. So 2 major people that I ever loved in my life is gone. Those are the hardships. What a lot of people didn't know is that after my husband was killed in Iraq, not even 6 months after that, I found out that I had breast cancer. I couldn't do that to my kids. Their dad just died. I couldn't tell them that they was going to lose their mama. So I just literally told the doctors, you know what? I'm going to give it to God. And this is where God gets good. I mean, he's always good, and he's always been good, but this is where. So I had surgery done to get one of the lumps cut out. And I didn't go back because they wanted me to start radiation and all that stuff, and I refused to. I wanted to live my life. If I was going to live my life, then I have to live it in pain. But I wasn't going to live my life to be sick and in pain. Plus, I don't want my kids to sit there and see me being sick and slowly dying. Because I have never been one to trust the government, and I've never been one to believe what the hospitals done said. So I said, no, I'm just going to leave it to God. He can do the rest from here.